Hi, my name's Leslie Prechtel and I'm a school librarian. I'd like to talk to you today about helping your child find the right book for them. Today is a wonderful time to be a child. Children's literature has never been so rich with variety, quality, and content. Remember the books that you read as a child? Well, maybe those books are ones that your child will like. There are certain classics that transcend time and generations, and just your love of that book might be enough to inspire your child to sit down and read it. If you liked E.B. White's Charlotte's Web or Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, maybe your child would like it as well. And even if your child is old enough to read those books on their own, if you sit down and read together, they will feel your passion for that book, and they may even pick up and read more of them. One story that I had about a boy he saw his father rereading one of his favorite books from his childhood. And this little boy was only in second grade, and the book was well beyond his reading level, and he was just determined that he was going to take that book and read it because he saw how much his father enjoyed it. And I tell you what, Ben really was able to take the book. It took him a long time, and I think with the help of his dad, he made it through reading that book. Another approach to use is to find out what the interest of your child would be. Are they interested? Is he interested in fantasy? Is she more interested in realistic fiction? Is he into sports? A question that you might ask your child to help them find a book is, what was the last book you read that you really enjoyed? A child needs to connect with the characters and the plot of the story in order to really get into the book and let it take them away and just get all wrapped up in it. What they're reading isn't as important as the fact that they are reading. With time, each child will progress. The idea is that if they'll get comfortable with reading, and they'll progress and pick up more difficult or more challenging material. When talking to your child about their interests, you might notice the author's name of the book, and I'd like to suggest that maybe you pursue other titles by that author. Right now there are so many series out there, like the Magic Tree House books, the Little House books, Harry Potter and Percy Jackson, just to name a few. And your child, if your child enjoys the first book in a series, there's a good chance that she'll enjoy the sequels. However, it doesn't mean that just a series is, sometimes it's just the author's writing style that the child likes. I had a student one time that enjoyed this author so much, and so whatever she wrote, he wanted to get his hands on so that he could read it because he just loved the way she writes. Please consider that there is a time for every book. Your child may pick a book up and start to read it and then set it back down. And even though you've made your best effort to find just the right book for them, it could be that there's something different about the book that is not working. It could be the vocabulary is too difficult for them. If your child is having difficulties with a book, suggest that maybe they read a few pages and count the number of unfamiliar words that they come across. Once they've found 5 words that they are unfamiliar with, have them stop reading and talk about that maybe this is a little difficult, a little too difficult, and if they really like the story, you two could sit down and read it together. And sometimes, you know, we're all different, we're all individuals, and we all have our different likes and dislikes, and we're not all going to like the same things. So please give your child permission that if he just doesn't like the story, it's okay to put that book down and find something else. And it may be that the book isn't right for right now. It may be a week from now, or a month, or maybe even years from now. It will be the right book for them to read, and your child will be able to sit down and revisit that book. Parents of children who read at a higher level frequently ask me how to choose books that are challenging but that also meet the child's developmental level. I recommend that parents visit with a librarian, or even sometimes you'll meet somebody, one of the clerks at a bookstore might be able to help you. The important thing is to express your concerns to whoever you're asking for an idea on a book, and find someone who has read that book. So the librarian or the clerk may have read a book that would fit with your child, but it's important that you express your concerns about the material in a book. There are also, right now with all the technology, with the internet and everything, there are lots of opportunities to find book reviews online. I highly recommend anything from School Library Journal or Book List. If you find a review on from one of those sources, those are written by librarians, and I usually find them to be fairly accurate in their description. There's also a web page that I've come across called teachers.com, and they've put out a list of 100 best books that are available. There's classics, there are new titles on there. It's a really extensive list, and they did a nice job of breaking it up into individual age groups. I'd like to invite you to come to Wichita Collegiate School and visit our library. We're located in the Barron Middle School, but we have books for children from grades 1 through 8, and I'm happy to help you with anything you need.